In the story of Jesus from Luke, Jesus is asked by a man, "Who is my neighbor?" And Jesus replies by telling us about 3 philosophies for life from Luke chapter 10. The question was, "Who is my neighbor?" And Jesus responds by telling the story of a man who traveled along the road from Jerusalem to Jericho. Now, this was a very dangerous road. It was known as the Bloody Way because there were good places for robbers to hide behind rocks and behind the hills and jump out and waylay the travelers and steal anything worth stealing. Well, this man fell victim to just such robbers and thieves who waylaid him. They beat him, the scripture says, and stole his clothing from him, and then they ran off, leaving him half dead. These men represent the philosophy of the iron rule. They are men who live by the thought that might makes right, and what is yours is mine if I can take it. I suppose we have heard of many men in our day and time who live by this philosophy. Their philosophy is do unto others before they do to you. The city of Jericho was one of the priestly cities, and probably the priest that comes along this road is probably on his way to Jerusalem to either serve or returning from there. And if anyone would be charitable toward this man, you would expect him. But sometimes the bandits pull such tricks as this, and he probably thinks it's just a trick. We can almost imagine him going on his way and praying, "Lord, help that poor man along the road back there." Along the road also comes a Levite. They were the helpers at the temple. They helped the priest. This man comes and looks upon him, sees that it's not any kind of a trick, and he continues on his way as well. These 2 men demonstrate for us what might be called the silver rule. And this silver rule says, in essence, that what is mine, and it's for me and for my family, for my own. And the philosophy that they would live by is do unto others as they do to you. Jesus then makes mention of a Samaritan coming along the road. And we can almost imagine as soon as he says the word Samaritan that the people there say, "Oh no," because the Samaritans and the Jews were just very hostile toward one another. And you can almost imagine that Jesus' listeners thinking, this man will probably come along and finish killing him. But in the story, the Samaritan stops to help the man. He sees the man's wounds, and he gives what medicinal aid he can to the poor man by pouring in oil and wine and what he has. And then the scripture says that he picks up the man and places him upon his own beast and transport him to an inn and continues caring for him through the night. This man then demonstrates what might be called the golden rule. And this golden rule simply says that what is mine is from God, and it's for me to use for God's glory. The golden rule is stated, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. So here we see the golden rule being put into practice. So we have these 3 philosophies of life, the iron rule, the silver rule, the golden rule. And the real question now is, which of these philosophies are you going to live by?